Going Attractions, The Definitive History of the Movie Palace is a documentary about the history of movie theaters, most particularly movie palaces. If movie palaces are like these big, like nice looking theaters, really. It's looks almost like the all these big castles and palaces you see over in Europe and from the Renaissance era and stuff. And it the I loved learning the history behind these big movie palaces and the history behind movie theaters themselves, even though I was already aware of some of the history of it. It features interviews with people who own own movie theaters and also some film buffs who grew up going to the movies and talk about their love of movies and the nostalgic uh, times they've had at the theaters. And it also features interviews with film critics, including Leonard Maltin, who's a good film critic. And he tells a nice story about his how he took his daughter to see a Laurel and Hardy comedy movie at the theater one time, and she laughed at it, and the whole theater was uproar and laughter. And he said something like that. That kind of that kind of stuff is something you won't get this day and age with digital stuff. And this documentary came out in 2019, a year before lockdowns, and after when the lockdowns hit, people that's when people well, movie theaters were closed, but after the movie theaters opened, people didn't go to the movies as much as they used to. Instead, they'd rather prefer to stay home and watch stuff on streaming, which sucks. And near the end of the documentary, they talk about wanting to preserve the movie theaters and keep them going, and they talk about how a lot of these popular movie palaces that it drew in a lot of crowds in the olden days are now a lot of them are now shut down. Some of them have even turned into churches, which is fine. I like church. I'm a Christian. I go to church, but this is a nice bit of history for movie buffs like me, uh, and it was nice to learn how movie palaces came about, how silent film star Mary Pickford, how her and Charlie Chaplin and Douglas Fairbanks and all them, they started this independent production company called United Artists, so they wouldn't have all these Hollywood big shots breathing down their neck. And Mary Pickford, one day when she was visiting Europe, she visited this palace and she was amazed how beautiful it was, and she wanted to go back home and establish a movie theater that looked just like that one. And lo and behold, she did. And lots of movie houses in America have come out since then, and a lot of them shut down now, like I said. But if you, if you're interested in movie history and the history of movie theaters, you might want to check this out. All right, that's it for now. Thank you, and God bless you. Bye.